Hey everybody, and of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Ish with your boy X.
And your boy Ish.
And you already know if you are a first time viewer or a recurring viewer, as always, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. If you are on Facebook, if you are checking us out on Twitter, please make sure you check us out on X underscore Williams 81. And if you are on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at X Talking Ish. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well.
Ding.
Appreciate you that for that one, Ish.
Oh yeah.
So, Ish, like we talked about last week, I did say that we would have a very special guest for this week's episode. And the reason why I said that is because we do. But before we bring them on, I just want to have a quick little talk with you, Ish, right quick when it comes to, of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about the draft later on after our interview with our special guest. But we also will have a very special draft special on Thursday. We will cover a little bit of the first round. It might be a little delayed, but we will cover the first round live with everybody joining in, and of course we will show our first round draft pick. Now let's remind everybody the first round draft picks that we did on our last week episode was due to no one trading out of those picks at the time. That is, if the first round were to stay. We all know the first round is going to jump up and down, but for right now, that's just our mock draft ish.
Oh, definitely.
But of course, as always, we appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. And we just want to introduce our very special guest for this evening, Miss Tay Lee, of the creator of Game of Fortune. We do appreciate her for joining us tonight.
Hello. Can y'all hear me?
Hey,
Yeah.
yes we can.
How is everybody?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm awesome, Sauls. Can't complain, won't give me no well.
It's very true. That is very true.
Now, of course, if you are tuning in today, it might be a little weird that we're not talking about football, but that's usually why people come to our show. But we wanted to switch things up tonight because we feel like bringing in Miss Tay Lee, she brings in, of course, the athletic past that she used to have, and she'll talk about that very shortly, and also the financial future to help not just the athletes that are getting drafted in this week's draft, but also athletes that are tuning into this broadcast on an everyday basis. So when I met Miss Tay Lee through mutual friends, she had a product called Game of Fortune that I feel like is something everybody needs to know about. Doesn't matter if you're 5 years old or 55. I feel like everybody needs to be financially literate. And Miss Tay Lee, if you do not mind, of course, introducing yourself and letting the people know a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Tay Lee, and I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. The name of our company is Never Go Broke, and we're a financial literacy company. We give our clients financial guidance, financial blueprints, financial education, seminars, games, and step by step training, all which teach them how to be wealth building, successful adults.
All righty then, we appreciate that. Now, the first question that I have for you is why did you decide to make this game?
So we already have a financial literacy company, and I still don't necessarily know why we decided to make the game. I think I was like sleep one day, and like I told everybody, I just woke up and was like, "Oh gosh, we should make a game because it'll be fun." Like I feel like people get tired of learning just looking at the wall, and it's like, "Okay, we get it. This is boring." So it's like, why not come up with a game? So
Yeah,
that's what we
yeah.
did. It's like, why not come up with a game? And that's what we did. So from there, we just started the process because I always feel like what better way to learn than with a game? Like you can have fun, you can talk crap, you can do all those other things that come along with the game instead of just sitting there just listening to somebody preach to you all the time about what you should do.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that approach. I think it's like anything. A lot of people they learn through songs and stuff like that. I definitely think games are another way that you can learn and keep that in your mind. So I thought that's an awesome idea. And so far, from what I've seen from the game, it looks amazing. What are the age groups for the game again?
The game is for anybody that's 10 years old and up. You can
All
play
right.
under 10, but I don't know if they would understand it. So if they
Yeah.
played under 10, it'd be more just like, oh, I'm learning how to count. I'm learning like small terms, but I don't know if they would get the grasp of everything that comes
Yeah.
along with it.
Okay.
Now, was there a game out here that it kind of inspired you as well to help create this game? Of course, you have Monopoly, you have Life. Is there a game that you kind of saw that you wanted to model your game after?
I don't think so. I really think we like so seriously, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this and how are we gonna do it? So I just went out and just started kind of figuring it out and then we just all came together and started playing it. So like we got the original, I still got the original note cards that I got from Family Dollar that we wrote everything on. And we
That's
just
awesome.
went in and started changing and doing what we had to do.
So, how long was the process?
This 2021. I think we've been working this for like 2.5 years. Because originally I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a card game. And then it was like, okay, well, we're not gonna do a card game, we're gonna do an app. Then we started on the app process, and then we literally did testing with the app for like 9 months to a year. And then me and the app people got mad, and then we took a break, and then we came back, and then we went to the card game. But we still have the card game, and we're still currently working on the app. So it's been a process because it's been a lot of. We had to do a lot of testing. We did testing with financial advisors. We did testing with kids. We did testing with adults. We had to figure out what to take out, what to leave in. Because like I told people, I was meeting, and they was like, "Oh no, you can't put that in there. This for kids, right?" They was like, "Oh no, take this out." So it's been a lot of testing just to kind of see how it went because a lot of we didn't want to make it too hard. And see, for me, I think I made it really hard. So we had to bring it down just a little bit so they can still understand it and get the grasp of it without saying, oh my God, this is really, really, really hard to understand. So it's been about 2.5 years. Yeah, about 2.5 years. Because 2020 was kind of hard with it too, because so many companies shut down.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great. I mean, it's great to hear the story of the process you had to go through, just with writing it down on notebook paper and then going through the process of testing and all of the trials that you did with different groups. It's cool to hear that you did go through like the financial advisors. You went through the kids. You got all of their feedback, and then were able to kind of change the game a little bit. Can you just give a little bit of detail of the format of the game and how a game would be played?
Okay, so the game, it's a card game. It's played with 3 sets of cards. You have your income card, you have your debt cards, and you have your wealth cards. So the first thing you would do, you will pull your income card. Your income card has your gross income, your net income, your expenses, and then you have to figure out your discretionary income. These cards all have definitions on them, so you can know what each one of them means. So you'll find out what gross mean, what nets mean, and what discretionary income means for anybody that says, I have no clue what that is. So we brought that in the game because so many people don't know the difference between the gross and the net of what they make. They just think they're bringing home $10,000 a year or $15,000 a year, $10 an hour. So we wanted to show them that it is a difference between the two. From there, you have the wealth card and you have the debt card. One is green for wealth, one is red for debt. You have 2 dice that go with it. Guess what color they are?
Red and
Red and green.
Yeah, that's
Hey.
what I'm talking about, baby. Y'all so smart. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, you got a green one and you got a red one. It has 1, 2, and 3 on it. Whichever you roll, that's how many cards you have to pull. When you pull your cards, you have your choice cards and you have your chance cards. They're mixed throughout the deck, so you get to see which ones they are. So whichever one you pull. So you may pull a chance card. The chance card can say, this example I always use. I was driving down the street and I bust a tire. I have to get a tire. I can't go without a tire because if I don't have a tire, I can't get to work. Then we have choice cards. The choice card may be, okay, so I don't have any money to get my car fixed. So do I get on the bus, which the bus can take me, I have to get up 2 hours early because this is the
Mm-hmm.
only time the bus runs, or do I ask family and friends and take Uber and different things like that in order to get where I'm going to get? So which one do I choose? Which one makes more sense financially? Getting up early, saving money, or doing what I have to do and take all these rides? And when it comes to family and friends with rides, it's a whole bunch of man.
Mm-hmm.
So it just gives you different options. Sometimes you pull choices, and then sometimes you pull a chance, because I tell everybody that life happens. And then from there you do it, because the game is played in 12 rounds, because it's 12 months in a year. And so it kind of rotates. You can take other players' money, you can take their income, you can take their expenses, you can ask them to borrow money. You have to pay them back at a certain percentage. Or like throughout the game, you may have the option to pull another income card if it's one that you hate. So it's a game.
And we appreciate you again for being on X Talking Ish, and especially breaking this down, because I know people don't know this, but I actually have already ordered my game set, so I'm excited for when mine's drop, because when mine get here, of course, I will let everybody on X Talking Ish know when mine's drop, because I'll let everybody know through video, hey, I got mine, because I'm excited to play it, because I think this is something that needs to be taught to everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, no matter the color, the race, the religion. I think everybody needs to know more about their finances, and be comfortable about talking about it. Because let's be real, sometimes this is a taboo subject to talk about in a family household, because if you're a parent, you feel like from time to time, as a kid, you don't need to know about finances. You don't need to be in grown folks' business, right? And when you grow up and you become 18 or 21, you're kind of behind the eight ball on really just knowing your financial power. Like you said, there's some people out here that are 25 years old and probably don't know what your gross net really is.
That's why we put it on the cards, because they did not know, and they were in their 20s. So it was something for them to know. And we also have definitions on the cards too. So we have like 401k, credit, stock, insurance, we got term, we got hold. So it just gives you insights to everything for you to learn about money. And
Yeah.
I say the earlier the better.
Oh, I
I
agree.
like, yeah, I really like that. It is for 10 and over, so you can kind of start talking about it at an early age. I also like that you use, like the example that you provided, real life experiences, right? Like, you're driving down the street and something happens to your car. That's not expected, but it's part of life. It's part of making those decisions. And what comes along with these everyday decisions that we have to make is financial. You got to think about financially where you stand and what that's going to do to you in the future. So yeah, I love the game. I love the premise of the game. It sounds amazing. I definitely recommend it for everybody that's listening.
Now, and as well, for everybody that is listening and tuning in, I will be putting the website of the game in the comment section. So for people that are checking the show out at the moment, you can definitely click that link and get your copy as well. And for anybody else, of course, that will be tuning in the future, that will be checking out this broadcast, this tape broadcast in the future, please make sure you check out this website and check out this game, because I think this is the beginning of honestly something great. I know I told you this before, Miss Tay, but I'm just being honest, because this isn't a one person or one avenue type of thing. This can hit so many different avenues for so many different types of people, that I think you have, as people will say, you have a hit, as a song, a great song, a great thing. You got a great hit going on right here. So.
And beside the game, you said you have a company over there in Alabama. Do you offer financial services as well to individuals?
Yes, we do. So the company is Never Go Broke. And so we
Mm-hmm.
offer services. We have planners, we have books, we have one-on-one consultations, we have long consultations, and then we're also in the process of finishing up a K through 12 curriculum for kids.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll definitely have to send everybody that's watching, everybody that's listening. We're gonna have to send y'all that way as well, so that you can definitely go check out the services that they offer. If you need a financial planner, you need education on financial literacy, definitely make sure you go check them out. Outside of just the game, like get the game, but if you need anything else, definitely go check them out.
And also as well, Miss Tay, like I was speaking very highly about you to my co-host before we came on live today, you as well are a former athlete turned entrepreneur. So let's please let everyone know, your athletic background, and then also seriously, and then also your journey to become an entrepreneur and where you are are at right now, because this isn't something that you just popped out your head and just happen success overnight. This is something that you've been doing for well over a decade now to try to put yourself in a position that you could be able to have something successful like this. So please let the people know.
Okay, so let me tell y'all about my sports journey. So when I was a baby, when I was real young, I played soccer, I played basketball, I played all the sports. In high school, I ran track. I was really good at track, in my opinion. And then I also played softball. As an adult, I have played football. I played flag football. That was fun. I have did bodybuilding. I did flag football for 2 years. I did bodybuilding for 3 years. I started training to box, but every time I look at how they face look after, I'd be like, is this something I really want to do? So I'm still debating if I want to go back to boxing or not. Because I'm like, it's time for me to do something else. Because I always like, let me try this, see what I like. Let me try this, see what I like. Let me try this, see what I like. So I think my next thing is boxing, because I would never make it at basketball. I have no skills for that. And I played tennis too. I did a couple tournaments of tennis. But I really want to box, y'all, and I just want to do one fight. Just one and win. And never do it again. But I just be debating because I'm just like, eh. Then I watched like an MMA fight the other day and I was like, nah, I definitely can't do MMA. So if you see me boxing in the next couple of years, just know I decided that I was going to do it.
We're going to have to get you together with Jake Paul. You and Jake Paul can set up a money fight.
Oh yeah, I was really training for it, and then I was just like, oh, and my mom was like, I ain't coming. Like, I can't see you get hit. I ain't coming. So I'm still debating if it's something that I want to do. But yeah, I've been in sports my whole life. I did 2 years track, 2 years softball, and then as an adult, I did the flag football. Flag football was really fun. Bodybuilding was really fun too. So
do you take those same traits that you use from your athletic background and use them in your business aspirations as well and everything that you do in business?
Oh yeah, because when it comes to sports, and depending on what type of sports you do, you have to be super dedicated and you have to have the correct mindset, because if not, you will definitely quit. Because bodybuilding is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. So you have to condition, you have to train, you barely get a cheat day. Like, you have to seriously stay focused all the time and not be like, oh, well, I just want to do this and do that. Oh, I'm just going to take a break. No, you got to stay focused when it comes to it. So that was one of the hardest things I've ever done when in bodybuilding. That takes a different mindset. That takes a different type of
dedication.
Dedication. Woo, that's the word. It takes a different kind of dedication. So I tell anybody, if you can go through it and do those 6 months to a year training to get your body to exactly where you want to be and get on stage and compete, you can almost do anything. So I can see how athletes are like, yeah. So like when they train all the time and they try to get extremely good at it, I can actually see the dedication because I've done it before.
And I definitely agree with you on that. When I work out at a gym that has a lot of bodybuilders, and like you said, they're in there about eight hours out of the day getting it in.
Listen. People ask me why I don't work out at night. Ain't no workout at night. Ain't no workout at night. I cannot work out at night anymore because I did it so much when I was bodybuilding. We had workout in the morning, workout at night. Workout in the morning, workout at night. And I was just like, I cannot work out at night. If I don't go first thing in the morning, just know I'm lying when I say I'm going to show up to you anytime after 7 a.m. I ain't coming. Like, I'm going to the gym at 5, go to the gym at 5 or 6 in the morning now, work out, may go around after, get it in. But I ain't working out at night. I'm not going to show up. You're gonna be
I
waiting,
respect it.
and you're gonna be mad.
I
Okay, I
respect
ain't
it.
coming.
Now, the first, your first, I guess you can say, business journey that you went on, if you don't mind reminding me again, was
Okay, so my first business was called Ote Shoes and Accessories,
yes,
where
yes,
everything
yes.
makes you say Ote. So that was the first company that I did. It was a shoe and jewelry company and purses, and that's what was my very first business because I went to college and got a degree and got ready to take on the world and got no job. So we had to figure something else out. We had to figure it out. So I started this job that I did not like at all, and it used to make me sad, and I hated going every day. So entrepreneurship was next. So that was my very first business. It was like, okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. So I went and I bought all the shoes and I bought all the purses and I started the first entrepreneur journey. And I think I
Now,
started that. It's been like 10 years.
now, quick question: how did your parents feel about that after haven't seen you go off to college, leave college, and then all of a sudden go and take the entrepreneur route? Were they okay with that? Were they a little uneasy? How was that right? I mean, how was their I guess feelings towards it?
I mean, they were fine with it because I did my part. I went to college.
Yeah, you went to school
Yeah, I
already. You
went to
got that
school.
done.
I went to
Yeah.
school. I got the degree, and they definitely understood because they like, what else you gonna do if nobody will hire you? What you gonna do? And I couldn't work and be happy with pennies. So it
Yeah.
was just like you have to maneuver. And with me maneuvering, my parents are really understanding, and they gonna support me in everything that I do. Like I have a really strong financial background. I'm not financial background. I have a really strong. Dang, what's that word I'm looking
So
for?
support system.
Support system. I cannot
Yes,
think
ma'am.
of it.
You're good. You good.
Support
I got you.
system. So they were fine with it. They weren't like, you're not gonna start being an entrepreneur. They was like, how can we help you set up?
And that's
How can
great to
we
hear.
help you
No,
get this sold?
no, but seriously, that's great to hear because a lot of people out here, depending on who where you come from, don't have that support system.
Right. And see, that wasn't my upbringing. I keep telling people I wish I had a hard knock life story. I don't have one like that. I don't know. My parents have always been there for me. So I wasn't like outside kicking rocks trying to figure stuff out. My parents have always been supportive in everything that I've done. So I know everybody's supposed to have a hard knock life story, but I just don't have one. My troubles more started when I became an adult because it was like, okay, you can't find a job. What are you gonna do about money? Because I was waitressing at a club and I was making $150 a week. So it was kind of like, but my troubles more started when I was an adult because it was just like, okay, I did all this. I done went to school. I'm supposed to be living this American dream, and the American dream is not my American dream because I still got these student loans that I can't pay on this American dream that they told me was going to be the American dream. So,
Definitely understand. Now, the question that I have as well, since we are, of course, approaching the NFL draft in just a couple of days, another reason why I wanted to bring you on is because we have these young men that will become a little bit more wealthier in their pocketbooks in the next couple more days. And that's something that anybody, doesn't matter if you're a professional athlete or just let's say a college student, going from making a couple of $1,000s to a couple of $100,000 now, being able to make that leap from money management, do you feel like as well this game could also help a young individual out there that is, let's just say they're a young athlete, they're 11 years old, they're using this game of fortune to learn more about their finances. They finally become that NFL first round draft pick and they are able to manage your money correctly because of a game like yours. Do you see that happening? Hopefully, maybe with this game, is that where you're trying to maybe get out of this game as well?
yeah, so the purpose of the game is just for people to learn the basic fundamentals of money and just how it works as a whole because so many people don't know and so many people had to kind of figure it out as they're going. So just by having the game and playing, you're learning financial terms that you may have never heard before. You're learning about money. You're learning how to say, okay, this may not be right, or I want this right now, regardless of what the outcome is. So it's giving them different options. And then when it comes to going from $0 to you becoming a multimillionaire on the first round draft pick or second round or third round or whatever it is, it's good to know money of some aspect instead of trying to wing it. And it's good to get a financial advisor if you I would say that's not your friend. I'll say that's not your friend. There's somebody that you know for sure can help you in your journey when it comes to managing money, especially when you have so much. Because when you first get it, they start balling out, spending, running up the check, and then next thing you know, they don't have anything. They don't have anything saved. They don't have anything invested, and we all want them to have that.
Ish, you got anything for Miss Tate?
No, so
He over there quiet.
hey, just trying to get that knowledge, man.
I'm gonna take all questions from him.
I mean, everything that she's talked about so far, I'm totally down with it. I think it's great what she's doing. I think the product is awesome. I think that it is something that everybody needs. Like you said, she's definitely got a hit on her hands, and I think that the more people that hear about it, the more that people are going to want it, because it's definitely something that's needed. One thing that we talk about a lot. People complaining about how come they didn't teach us this in school? Why don't we learn this in school? Hey, there's no excuse now. Just go out and get the game. I recommend for all parents out there, don't rely on school to teach your kids this. Like, get the game. It's a fun, easy way for them to learn something that is going to be very important for them moving forward. So, yeah.
And they can play together, which is a good thing.
Yourself.
Yeah, you can play together. Family game night.
Right. You can learn. So learn, earn. You can learn and earn together.
Yep.
Because it's never too late, y'all. People like, man, I don't know this. I'm too old to learn. But no, you can learn with your kids and y'all can learn together, and you should be more open and not saying, why you all in my business? Be like, okay, I want you to sit down with me so I can show you what this money looks like, so you don't go through the same thing I'm going through, or you can be better than what I'm going through, or we can be on the same level. Because not knowing nothing and you going into the real world sucks.
I 100% agree. And before we get up out of here for tonight, Ms. Tay, besides the game, what are some other things that you feel like other people can do to help them improve their own financial literacy by books, podcasts, YouTube channels, your own company? Is there other opportunities to help out people in?
Yes. So this is what I always say. The library. I think the library is awesome and people are not going. So go and support your local libraries, because the libraries have a lot of free seminars that can help you, free trainings. And guess what, y'all? They still have books. Now, for me, I am a hold a book in my hand learner, where some other people, they may need a podcast. So if you need a podcast, do it that way. If you want to look at YouTube, do it that way. But go to y'all libraries, y'all. They have so much information and so much knowledge. And if y'all don't start going, they're going to close down and we won't have any. So don't leave the libraries hanging. Go to the library and try to learn as much as you can, because they're still there and they're still open for everybody to learn. So they can always do that. You can always check your local communities, boys and girls clubs, things like that. Because if you don't necessarily have the money to pay somebody to help you learn, you can find all the resources that come along with it. It's a lot of free resources out here, but people don't go to them.
It's just the time,
I go
right?
to classes all the time.
Yeah.
Before COVID, I went to classes all the time, and I was the only person there. Like, literally, because I just always look for things. So start looking in your local neighborhoods, your local communities, and Google what they have, or go to the library, go to your business resource centers. They will have a list of different avenues where you can learn. And a lot of times they are free, because everybody doesn't necessarily have the money. So try those out first. If you can't find anything that way, Google, YouTube, listen to some podcasts. And if you can afford it because you feel like you're past some of the levels that they have in the community, find a financial advisor that you feel like is a perfect fit for you. Because you may come to me and be like, we're not the same. I don't like how she talked to me, things like that. You may be like, I don't feel like he's on the level I'm on, or I need somebody that's more advanced. So if you're able to afford it, find you a financial advisor or a consultant that can help you get to where you want to be, to help you learn more and do more too.
Hey, y'all heard it here first. Miss Taylor is spitting those gems for y'all. I mean, this is the episode that if there's one episode that you had to catch, this is the one, because that is some knowledge right there for you. All those resources she just gave out and all the suggestions. Definitely make sure that you take those down. Again, we're going to have her information. We're going to put it in the description. We got a link to the website. So if you have any follow-up questions or you want to get in touch with her for her services, make sure you reach out, because I definitely think that she is on the right track and she's got a lot of knowledge out here to share with y'all.
And one more time before you get up out of here, Miss Taylor, please let everybody know where to find you.
Hey, so you can find us at nevergobroke.money. All social media platforms, Never Go Broke INC. To contact me, you can go to taylee.money or I am Taylee on all social media platforms. Any of those sites. You can also get the game of fortune.money. Remember, all the sites are .money, y'all. Please don't look for .com or .org or .net. .money, because what we look like money, smell like money, and want to learn about money. So everything is .money. I am Taylee.money, Never Go Broke.money, Game of Fortune.money.
All righty then. We do appreciate your time. We appreciate you for joining us at X Talking Ish. Hopefully, maybe one day you can join us again for another episode. We can quiz you on some sports knowledge. We can definitely quiz you on some sports knowledge.
Listen, I'm gonna be. Let me know so I can research and start watching. Yeah, I'm more of a basketball.
I got you.
Okay.
I be all in the basketball. Look, you see that?
When my game comes in, I'll definitely let everybody know here on X Talking Ish about the game as well. And who knows, Ish, maybe I need to let her know about my boy Mackie. Get her on Mackie's podcast. They're basketball folks. You know, who knows? Maybe they can do a cross collab on that one. I got you on that one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I just shot a 3. There you go. Boom.
Okay.
Right there.
I see. Don't forget about the foul and one.
And one.
All righty, then. We appreciate you again, Miss Taylor. You have a great rest of the night.
All right, y'all too. Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All righty, then. Ishmael. Appreciate that very special guest, because that was a treat. I don't know about you, but that definitely was a treat. Out of the special guests so far we've had on our combined shows with what formerly known as the Sports Plug, now X Talking Ish. I mean, hey, it seems like our guests are just getting better and better. And who knows who else will be on in future broadcasts with X Talking Ish. We're not going to, of course, let y'all know. You have to tune in to find out.
Just know we working behind the scenes.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. All right, let's talk a little bit about the upcoming draft on Tuesday. We have a couple of, how can you say?
We had some moves made.
We have some reports made of some moves that could get made on draft day. Mainly the number one topic, the New England Patriots might be in cahoots with the Carolina Panthers to maybe move up to that 8th spot. And if that is the case, it seems like they probably are looking for a quarterback. The real question is, what quarterback will be left at that time for them to be able to get? Because also reports for pick number 3 for the San Francisco 49ers have them taking a quarterback, either Mac Jones or Trey Lance. At the moment, Mac Jones it seems like it is the guy.
He's the favorite right now.
He is the favorite, but it just still seems a little weird that it's Mac Jones over a guy like Ish. You thought they would pick him up, which is a Justin Fields, or again somebody like a Trey Lance. But it seems like, depending on what Mr. Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the 49ers, wants, he wants a Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo type of quarterback. And if that is the case, could we see a Mac Jones going number 3 overall?
I mean, at this point, you got to believe all the intel that is being shared right now. Like everybody's saying that that's who they favor at the moment. It's Mac Jones. Also, since our last episode, reports came out. Justin Fields told teams that he was suffering from what was it again? Epilepsy.
Epilepsy, yes, sir.
Yeah, epilepsy. So, that made some changes. Some teams may not feel comfortable with that.
And I was going to ask you about that, Ish. Now, does that drop him out of the first round completely?
No.
Okay, or does that just drop him out of top 10? Because at one
I don't
point in
even know
time,
it
you've seen a
dropped
lot of
around
mock.
top 10.
There's a lot of mock drafts, especially from the ESPN guys, saying that there's going to be 5 quarterbacks taken in the top 10 picks.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. Period. I still don't see it. But will Justin Fields drop out of that top 10 spot because of reports of the epilepsy?
No, I don't think so. I think the reason why they have 5 quarterbacks going in the top 10 is because of all the teams that need quarterbacks this year or are uncomfortable with their current situation and the type of market that there is right now for quarterbacks. I think a report came out earlier today. A GM out there anonymously said that the 49ers messed up the market for trades in the draft when they moved up to number 3 because of what they gave up. And I think that's kind of speaks to the quarterback market at the moment. You got to give up a lot to go get a quarterback. And there are so many teams that need a quarterback that you got to move up. The 49ers, even though the reports are saying that they were comfortable with 5 different guys at quarterback, they felt like they had to go up to 3 to be able to get, one of their top 3 guys of the 5 that they were comfortable with. So you got to look at teams like Denver, who are sitting a little bit lower, Carolina, New England, like you already mentioned. Those teams, I think that they're going to feel like they got to move up to get the guy that they want, especially if their guy falls down, right? So like if I'm a team that's sitting behind Carolina and I feel like I want Justin Fields, I might want to move in front of Carolina unless Carolina is telling me that they're not selecting Justin Fields. You know what I mean? So
no, I definitely understand where you're coming from, because with what the 49ers are doing right now it's just very, I won't say it's all over the place, but it's just very
it's hard to read,
because you also have Kyle Shanahan just come out just a couple of days ago and make this comment about who their quarterback is expecting to be in the upcoming season. He's saying that he doesn't know what the weather's going to be like. If we're all going to be alive on Sunday.
Yeah, he can't guarantee we all going to be alive on Sunday.
So, of course, let's be real, it's a smart ass comment, but it's true. I mean, I understand it's the truth. You're making a comment that has nothing to do with the question we're asking about. We're asking about the quarterback situation, of course, and you're trying to deflect. We understand what you're doing. And if that is the case, I mean, all finger points to they're getting a new quarterback. That's what it seems like, right? I mean, it seems like they're going to use that number 3 pick on a guy either like Mac Jones or Trey Lance. Or I'm assuming Mac Jones. And does that mean that Jimmy G is on the trading block? Is he still there week 1 and Mac Jones is the backup to succeed him later on, maybe in the season or next year? Like how does this work out, Ish?
No, I think he has to go. I think I definitely, like I said when we were doing the mock draft, like we talked about earlier in previous weeks, if they're sitting at number 3, they're picking a quarterback. Like there was no reason for them to trade up to 3 unless they're going to go get a quarterback. They're definitely up there to get a quarterback. So it looks like Mac Jones is the guy. And for Jimmy Garoppolo, I think he's going to be playing somewhere else unless the 49ers just don't get an offer that they really feel satisfied with. But I definitely think he's going to be somewhere else. It's just what team is going to come in for him and what does that offer look like? That's what I'm curious about. If he is staying in San Francisco, which I think is unlikely, that's going to be an interesting situation, because if you're getting a quarterback at number 3, how long are you waiting before you insert that person? I mean, you could potentially have Jimmy Garoppolo play the entire season. You can have him play until you feel like the guy's ready, or until the team loses maybe 1 or 2 games. That would be an interesting situation, but I think it would be a distraction for the team. So that's why I think they will move him. It'll just depend on what offer comes in. And everybody's talking about New England moving up to get a quarterback. Why not make a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? I think you might be able to get Jimmy Garoppolo for a little bit less than what it would take to move up at this point in the draft. But
now, if you're of course tuning in on our YouTube page, we do have the number 3 pick of our mock draft that we did last week on there. And again, if you watched our last week's episode, I did state, if Jimmy G is the quarterback and if he is going to be there, I see San Francisco go ahead and pick an offensive lineman to help beef up the line. Like Ish stated last week, they feel like they're moving on without Jimmy G, or without Jimmy G, they're going to get a quarterback. At the moment, again, Ish seems correct with the position, but it seems like it might be getting a different quarterback, not a Justin Fields, but it seems like Mac Jones. We just have to wait and see, of course, just in a couple more days. The NFL is full of surprises. The draft is full of surprises, so we'll just have to wait and see on that one, Ish.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to wait and see. Like you said, there's a lot of surprises. There are a lot of moves this year. Unlike other years, I feel like is more volatile as far as movement goes, because scouting was more sporadic. Not necessarily sporadic in as how much scouting was done, but the type of scouting, right? Like you didn't necessarily get a bunch of in-person scouting. You didn't have a true combine in Indy like you normally have. So I think teams are going to be all over the place. Not to mention, I saw reports about physicals and some of the medical examinations that you normally get. You didn't really get that chance this year. So, teams are going to have to make picks based off of, not only what scouting they were able to do in more film this year than any other year, but also your medical decisions. That's why I think the Justin Fields thing was a bigger thing than it would have been previously, because this probably would have been something that would have been discussed behind closed doors a little earlier in the process. And the reason why it's coming out so late is because of the type of situation we're in 2021. So that is not, I don't think Justin Fields is going to be the only one that's going to have some things like that pop up between now and Thursday. I think there are going to be some other players, maybe not as big news, but there are going to be some other players that teams might find out at the last minute, like, hey, so-and-so, he had this injury, he hasn't quite fully healed, or, there's this situation that you may want to think about. And that might change at the last minute some people's boards. So
completely agree with you on that one, Ish. Now, before we get up out of here for tonight, do you see a team besides the New England Patriots, besides the obvious movers in the draft, do you see a team moving up and surprising everybody and making a trade to get someone we just did not expect? Could you see somebody like the Washington football team probably trying to make a jump and saying, hey, we could definitely help this team out, going from 19 to number 8 or 9 and trying to add another piece to that team?
So I'm looking at the order here, and I'm thinking to myself, based off of needs, I think that in order for a team to do something like that, for it to be an unexpected move, I think it's going to have to meet a couple of criterias, right? I think it's going to have to be a need that a team feels like is their biggest need, and they really want to fill that need, right? There's going to have to be a player that somebody feels like there's enough of a difference between that player and the next player at that position on their board that they need to move up and go get them. And there has to be a team in that spot or directly following that spot that also has that same need as them, right? And if I'm looking at the board in the first round and I'm looking at the teams and what some of the needs are, I think one of the places that you could see something like that happen, right? Because we've been talking about quarterback and how many quarterbacks might be taken in the first 10 picks.
The Raiders.
Not necessarily the Raiders.
Okay.
That's not who I was thinking, actually.
Okay.
I was thinking, depending on some of the picks, because like in our mock draft, we had Jamar Chase going pretty early, number 5. I think we both had him at number 5, maybe. Or maybe
number 8. I'm sorry, yeah, number 7. Number 7 for me, and then number
5 for me. Number 5 for me.
Yes.
I think wide receiver, depending on if a team really feels like they need a receiver and the receivers start to drop and somebody really has Jamar Chase high on their board, you might see a team move up to go get him. Because I think there are some questions about Devonta Smith that maybe a team may not feel comfortable with his size. They may feel like Jamar Chase is the guy. So to move up for a receiver, I can see that happening. For corner, Patrick Surtain, if he makes it past Carolina, you could also see a team maybe try to leapfrog Dallas at number 10 to move up and get him if they feel like he's that much better than J.C. Horn, who I have as the second corner coming off the board for me. So I do think corner and receiver, if they start to drop because of all the quarterbacks that are going and maybe, seeing some tackles go in the top 10, you may see a team move up. Philly needs a receiver, right? Philly may feel desperate enough that they want to get up there and get a receiver. You may have, like you said, the Raiders. The Raiders could get. Let's not discount John Gruden and Mike Mayock.
That's all I'm saying.
The quarterback. They may. That's all I'm saying. Love his quarterback, so
he could jump up in the top 10. Who knows?
He could,
maybe have Mariota be the mentor to help him out. I'm just saying.
I just don't know that they're gonna have enough to put that package together. Because to move from 17
and you have to trade Derek Carr too. You have to trade Derek Carr. I'm assuming.
I think he would have to be part of the package. Probably. He's probably gonna have to be part of that package.
It's not just gonna be just picks. It's not gonna be just picks and future picks and stuff. It's gonna have to be Derek Carr plus future picks.
See, but the only team I could see taking something like that with Derek Carr part of the package would be the Denver Broncos, right? At number 9. If Denver really feels like they're not sold,
I can see that.
It could be Denver at 9.
And if anything, that could help Derek Carr try to prove himself back to the Raiders, playing in the same division. But I don't know if the Raiders are comfortable with trading.
I don't know that they'd be comfortable with trading him there. That's the thing, right? Like, there is a lot that would go into that, but I definitely think the Raiders at 9. The Raiders could jump to 9 if a quarterback falls there, and Denver isn't sold on any of the quarterbacks, or they're sticking with Drew Lock. Who knows, right?
Well, one thing I will say is, thank God we are not getting paid to have to make these picks.
Man,
some people will be getting fired in the next couple of years.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure, man. It's gonna be this draft definitely though. There are so many, especially
a lot of talent,
especially with like all the 4 threes that were coming out and all that.
And they better be 4 threes, damn it. When they're playing in week 1, better be 4 threes on the field. All right, last question is before we get up out of here for tonight. Will Julio Jones get traded from the Atlanta Falcons?
Ooh, that's a big one. Julio Jones. The reports are coming in that they're listening to offers. Now, just because they're listening to offers right now doesn't mean that he's going. Also, because of cap reasons, he can't be traded until after June 1st. So it's not even going to be something that in the draft he's going to be traded. It's going to take a while. I don't know. I mean, so I think we both had Kyle Pitts going to the Falcons at number 4, right?
Yes.
You bring in Kyle Pitts at number 4. Do you feel comfortable enough with Calvin Ridley as your number 1 now, and Kyle Pitts is your starting tight end / hybrid split end, whatever you want to call it? Do you feel comfortable enough with that to move on from Julio Jones? Do you feel like now's the time to cash in? I don't know. That's a tough one for me because I don't know what I think we talked about this at the end of the season. We were talking about like if he gets traded, what would he get traded for? And I was saying like, bro, but you probably only get a 2 or a 3 for him. I don't know, man. This is a rough one. I don't know if he's still in Atlanta. If you had put a gun to my head and you said you got to choose, I think he's gone. I think he's gone.
Before the season, or during the season, like a James Harden situation.
No, I think before the season. I think he has to go before the season. Yeah, I think he has to go before the season. I think right after. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a deal in place before June 1st, and then it gets announced after June 1st. But yeah, I think he has to go, man. I think now, if you're gonna cash in on him, if you're listening to offers, you don't want to wait till end of season because you lose some leverage.
You also don't want him. You also don't want to wait. And unfortunately, let's just say he gets hurt because over the last couple of seasons, he's dealt with injuries. He is an aging receiver. That is something that I see on a lot of different wires or teams, fans wise, that they're saying, I don't really want Julio anymore because he is an older receiver that keeps on getting hurt. But I'm looking at a team like the Tennessee Titans, and you add him with a guy like A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry. I mean,
I don't want to see that.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, it doesn't. Julio doesn't need to join. Relax. Y'all can't get everybody, okay? Relax, guys. Okay. Julio Jones does not need to be on a team that he has to carry the whole workload. He just needs to be on a team that he could be a piece of, and everybody else can do their part, and it opens up everybody else even more. You put Julio on that Tennessee Titans offense, you can't double A.J. Brown. You can't put 8 men in the box.
So I compare his situation to somebody else?
I'm listening.
Somebody very similar to him? Somebody that was drafted in the same year as him? Who he's been compared to since high school?
You talking about A.J. Brown? I'm sorry, Julio?
Yeah, I'm talking about Julio.
Megatron?
No.
A.J.
Green.
Oh,
AJ Green. AJ Green came out
with the Cardinals. Yes. No, you know it's funny. I was going to say that, but you said compared them to, so I was like, nobody really compared.
Well,
but I got you.
Because they've always been in the same class, so everybody's always been like, oh, which one is the better one? I compare his situation to AJ Green because I think the Bengals showed the Falcons what not to do. Because they allowed A.J. Green to get to the point where he's had so many injuries. He's an older receiver that he walked in free agency and they got absolutely zero for him.
Well, the Bengals are the Bengals.
But I mean, I think that's a perfect example of why if I'm Atlanta, this is the offseason this is it.
But I mean, we saw that with J.J. Watt. We saw that with J.J. Watt in the Houston Texans. You could have gotten at least something for him, right? I understand, the Texans wanted to do a goodwill towards JJ because they respect him and stuff, but business is business, okay? You trying to improve your team, or you trying to make feel good stories out here? Y'all tell me. Oh, the point is, with Atlanta Falcons, they're gonna have to figure out something very, very soon. To be honest with you, they might wait till after June. Is it you said June 1st or July 1st?
June 1st. It's June 1st.
They might wait. They honestly might wait after June 1st. Anyways, that's when, of course, all the caps for everybody. That's when you'll see a lot more player movement after June 1st because a lot of teams are just waiting for that cap situation to turn over after June 1st, and then bam, people will be getting cut, traded, and it'll be more of a rodeo frenzy. And of course, we'll be here on X Talking Ish, talking more about that as well. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
Well, we appreciate everybody as always. Think that was a great show because we talked about not just football but also financial literacy with a very special guest, Miss Tay Lee. We do appreciate her as always. Hopefully, we can see her again in the future. And as always on X Talking Ish, this is X,
and this is your boy Ish.
Alrighty then. We will see y'all next week. Oh, sorry. I lied. We will see y'all on Thursday, first round of the NFL draft here on X Talking Ish. So please make sure you join us there, and we'll be back on our regular schedule once again next Tuesday, 9 o'clock on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that. Once again, X Talking Ish.